So, here we are for the least prepared podcast I've done out of 10. But, work happens and life happens and emergencies happen. So here we are. But what?
That's just like motherhood.
I know, it's very, very true. So we got to constantly pivot and we have to constantly adjust and we have to multitask, right? Moms are the best multitaskers. And we thought it appropriate for May to do a podcast on motherhood. So we're going to talk about tips, tricks, tragedies, train wrecks, triumphs of motherhood, because, we all face them all the time. And I want to introduce you two first, but then I'm going to go into Sam over here. But so I'm with Stacy, who's our PA at our office, who's a mom of 3, twins, and a non-twin.
A singleton.
And what are their ages?
Well, before we get into their ages now, my claim to fame is I had 3 under 3.
Oh, all right.
So,
Good.
yeah. My oldest is 13. He'll turn 14 in July. And then my twins just turned 11. So,
Wow. Good luck.
a lot.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
thanks.
Weston has 2 girls. How old?
12 and 10.
12 and 10. And then Sam, you are...
I have 2 with a third coming. 25 weeks today, actually. And then the 2 boys, Jules is 5 and Kobe is 3. So
I love it.
Do you know what
little
you're having?
younger. Yes, we're having a girl.
I love that.
She said the gender reveal and I actually guessed it right. I think I was the first comment and I go, girl. And I was right.
It's
How
like
did you do your
knew.
gender reveal?
We actually just did it spur of the moment on Mother's, or actually Saturday night.
Oh, so this is new news.
Yeah. This is brand new
Just
news.
like, yeah.
Breaking
Yeah,
news.
yeah.
Breaking news, yeah.
Yeah.
And we did it through social media. For the most part, family knew earlier.
Yeah.
But I wanted to put the pink paint on the boys' hands and blindfolded them. And we just sat back there, had a couple mother-in-law was here, so she helped, and then they just put the pink paint on my belly. And then
that's so cute.
Yeah, they opened
That's
up
cute.
the blindfold and they were, I asked them, I was like, what is it? And they both said, it's a hand. And then I was like, it's a girl. And both of them actually have been wanting, we kept asking them, do you want a brother or a sister? They both have been wanting a sister. So it actually turned out really great.
I know. That's
She's
amazing.
going to be so cared for.
I know.
I think so.
Protected.
And she's the youngest. Like, it just kind of worked out.
It's so cute.
It actually did. I feel like Scott and I were both very boy parents. We're very athletic, and I just felt like I had a personality for the boys.
Yeah.
But to have the third be a girl, it'll be really exciting to experience.
It's so different to experience different sexes. Yeah.
Yes.
Like
Well,
a
I
whole
can tell
different
you, my girl is, so I have boy-girl twins. The girl is more tomboy than the boy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't know, but then she's so maternal too. So
Yeah.
it swings both ways.
Now,
It's
do
really
you find
cool.
that that's you? Is that how
Yeah.
you are? Yeah.
100%.
So that's good.
Yeah.
So Sam is hosting us, so thank you for having us.
Thank you guys for being here, and I'm so sorry for the
Beautiful
traffic. I wish the traffic wasn't as
That's
bad.
okay.
but,
Hey, the traffic was delayed. I had way more to drink, so this could be really fun.
This could be fun.
This could be
Bring
the
it.
best podcast
Motherhood.
ever. I'm not prepared, and I've had a lot more drinks waiting for Stacey and Weston, who are stuck in traffic.
Well,
so-
you're welcome, Carrie.
I know.
You guys can
You're
drink for
always
me.
there.
Here
You're
you go.
always there to help. I appreciate. Give a helping hand, but. Thank you for hosting us, and I am so happy to have you. I've known you for so long. Weirdly, like through your sister is how I originally met you, but as we, your mama too, another one coming, and then I am like so intrigued, which we're going to get into because you're started a business like 10. How long ago? 10 years ago?
Yeah, next year will be 10 years.
10 years ago. Okay. And I remember I got divorced and I moved into an apartment in the school district, and my balcony overlooked your garage, and that's how I originally met you. And so I had known you had started this whole thing, and I would watch you guys in the garage do the launches and pack up all the merchandise and ship it out through your garage. Stacey, were you smoking?
No, I don't. I've had a cold. And I knew this was going to happen, so I'm sorry.
Just to have a drink. I remember watching you out of your garage, and then like you've turned it into this huge thing. And so I want to like talk about. I have notes, so I kind of talked about how I know you, and even like furthermore, like my daughter worked for you briefly, which is cool.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Maddie worked for her, just like part time in the warehouse, which is so cool. And so I guess like tell me like your background, because I know you started out as a nurse. So kind of how you were a nurse and how you then got into like being a business owner.
Yes, I could talk about this all day. Yeah, so 10 years ago, next year is going to be our 10-year anniversary with Patula, which is really a cool milestone. I won't lie. But before that, so came down here for college at OSU. It's actually where I met Scott at the gym there. And originally, I was having this passion for fitness, for wellness. Actually, it was really wellness, because my dad, growing up, he was an orthopedic surgeon, actually. And I just remember growing up, he was trying to start the whole wellness kick. This was 35 years ago, before it really became something. And I don't know, my dad just inspired me forever. And that's kind of where I got my ground, my traction at OSU, and I became a personal trainer there, all while trying to be like, oh, do I want to be a fitness instructor, work in the gym for 8 hours a day? I don't know. I was still navigating that. And then I was thinking, nursing would be a great field to get into, like wellness, being sort of proactive with your health, teaching people how to live better. And all while I was in nursing school, I gained this love for fitness. In college, this is when I was having a little bit of a struggle that my freshman year of college, with my body, eating a lot more, a little bit more depressed. It was a big change. And being able to get into the gym and have that control over myself really, really helped. So while I was becoming a personal trainer and going into nursing school, this is when kind of social media, Instagram specifically, popped off. And I just had fun posting because, hey, if I'm doing it, they can also do it in the gym. So it was really cool. It was really motivating for me on a personal level. And started online training, all while still going to nursing school, getting a nursing job at Mount Carmel here. And it was interesting to experience both sides of the spectrum. So I was on one side teaching patients who are in the hospital with comorbidities, with a problem, trying to teach them how to better themselves. And you just feel like they're very reluctant to learn. They're very reluctant to try to take better care of themselves in the state that they're in. And then at the same time, literally an hour later, I'm putting my workout online for these younger, specifically women. Women would come to me and they would be so motivated on their own to work out, to live a better life, to start early, to hopefully not have to get into the hospital and be on multiple medications, etc. So seeing both sides was so interesting to me, and I felt like my passion really lied in the proactive wellness approach of personal training. And I loved being able to make women feel good. And through online challenges that I was putting together and learning about these women of all kinds globally, I wanted to make them feel good in their clothes too. So no business background, no fashion background. It was really just that passion to make women feel good. And we've started Patula from scratch, down to the material and the thread and the designs. Everything's custom, fully custom, designed mostly in the apartment when we started. And now we have a warehouse and an office space just down the road about 10 minutes. And it's
So you went from the garage to how big is your warehouse now?
it's 20,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. It includes our fulfillment center, but
Yeah.
everything, as much as we can, is done in-house. And and when I met Scott, I was in nursing school, he was in dental school. We went into healthcare for a few years, and now we're not in healthcare, either of us, and we're just focusing on Patula full-time. So.
What does Patula stand for?
I was going to say, how do you,
Yeah.
how did you come up with the name?
So that's a funny story. When we first were trying to think of names back in the day, we were trying to find something that wasn't trademarked. And Patula was our fourth option. And it actually is an acronym, and it means passion to unite and live active. And the whole purpose of it was focused around the women I was training all over the world, and with different lifestyles, with different interests, different jobs, all of these things, different cultures. And we would all come together under one common goal, is to live a better, healthier life. And I just remember when I first started training in college, I got a lot of pushback from my family, from my friends. They just didn't understand why I was so focused on exercise and so focused on eating better. And I luckily was strong enough to just push through, because I knew it was really valuable for me. But you need that support system. It's when you're trying to make those changes in your life and you don't have a support system, it's obviously more difficult to do. And so to name the brand about the women all coming together under one common goal, we were able to kind of accomplish more together, even though we were all so different. So
Oh, I love that.
That's so cool.
yeah, it's very,
That's
very,
awesome.
very neat.
Yeah.
I love that too. And I have to say, I've been a customer since you started, literally. And I cannot say enough about, as they know, because I shout from the mountaintops. Literally, it's better than Lulu. It's a better price point. It washes better. It lasts longer. It wears better. It feels amazing. And so I cannot say enough about your products. And I think it shows the amount, because I would dog sit for you when we were in the apartments right by each other. And I would see the samples everywhere and the designs you were coming up with, and just how much time you would put into it. And you would explain to me this is what I'm looking at, and look at these colors and feel these materials. And then you would order a prototype, and you would wear it for 6 months, and you would wash it, and you would see how it would wash, and you would see how it would wear. And if the threading wasn't perfect, nope, out. We're starting all over again. I totally admire that about the products.
You said something this week or last week about how you did all that, but then how normal companies outsource everything. So tell me the difference between that, because I don't think a lot of people know.
Oh yeah, there's a variety of ways you could go into a fashion. A lot of boutiques that you see, they pull in a variety of, I think it's white label. And so a company will already have a collection of products made for a season, and basically boutiques will buy and pick from a variety of those brands. It's funny, I actually was very unaware that you could do that at first.
I remember you said that. You go, I'm such an idiot. I'm doing all this work, and
Ignorance
I realize
is bliss.
I can outsource it and put my label on it.
Yeah. So I mean, down to the fabrics, to where it's made, all that other stuff. And so from us, it's fully custom down to the greige fabric, and then we custom dye every color that is made. We can make it softer. We check it for pilling. We check it for color fastness. We're checking some of our lounge stuff for snagging, abrasion. I've learned so much over the last 10 years. It's been incredible. But yeah, we like to make it really challenging on us. And like Carrie said, was every sample that would come in. This is why it's also a little more difficult when I'm pregnant, because when my body changes, it's hard to be the fit model. But every sample that would come in, I would not only just try it on, but I would wear test it, because it is an active wear brand. It's a performance wear brand, and I want to make sure it doesn't roll down. I want to make sure that it doesn't hike up where it shouldn't. I want to make sure it breathes well. you feel really comfortable in it all day, because ultimately majority of our collections they're timeless core essentials. And when I was at the gym, I would go from the gym and I would go and complete everything else throughout the day in the same outfit. And not only does that make it better, high quality, but it makes it very versatile. It makes it very cost effective. There's just so many things that I feel like are beneficial when it comes to those things. There's so many ways of like creating a fashion line, and a lot of them, like the boutiques, they'll do that. I just had that goal. I didn't even know that was an option.
I know, that's hilarious. But it worked out.
It did.
And we're all donning Petula today.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
I love it.
Very cozy. So I have to ask this. If you could only have 3 pieces of Petula,
That's a great question.
what would be?
That is a great
And
question.
can you link them in the show notes?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll link them in the show notes. But
Like current styles?
Like whatever you want. It can be old
Whatever you
school.
want.
It can be OG. It can be whatever. If you had to pick 3 things, I can let you go to 5 if you have to, but 3 ideally, that you were just like, I couldn't live without them. They're my favorite.
I couldn't live without. Okay, so I'll say the 3 that are what you guys are wearing. That comfort knit zip up is
Yeah.
a
It
godsend.
is pretty amazing.
It's so versatile.
We'll get you one for the next.
Yeah, I know. I feel so bad. I got you a different zip up, but for sure that the Sierra leggings that you are wearing right now, that material is just my dream.
Yeah.
It's
Is this like different than yours?
I think.
the material she's wearing too is also my favorite. Actually, what I'm wearing right now. It's the bare material.
They're amazing.
The bare, it's like a barely there feel. It has that cottoniness to it. It's so lightweight. It dries so fast. It is, I'm so thankful that I'm able to create these pieces, because when I first was pregnant with Jules, I didn't have the bare material. I was testing it during that pregnancy, and it just didn't have a whole collection of it. And then my pregnancy with Kobe, and then this one, it's been so much more comfortable. I haven't felt as insecure in my body because I've had pieces actually like conform to what my body shape is right now, as opposed to feeling the seams and feeling that the fabric is too tight
into it.
Yes, absolutely. So Sierra legging, bare legging, that comfort knit. The other 2 pieces, which we are dropping it again next month, and it was a bestseller, is our flow pant. You guys will love our flow pant. I don't know if you have our flow pant.
Those.
It is it's such a fantastic material. It's so lightweight. It drapes really well. It's very thin, but you make it into a pant. It's like and they're very trending. They're trending right now. We dropped.
It sounds like something you wear for an business. Or
yeah, you can.
She's in.
That is right up my alley.
Yeah.
They're so lightweight. Yeah, because you don't want to wear pants a lot in the summertime. You will love them.
I'm going to buy them.
Yes, they're coming in some
you
really
love
nice
your pants.
I do
colors.
love my pants.
That would be perfect. And then an old brandy lounge pant.
Oh,
I don't know if you have those, but
I don't think I don't have a lot of the loungy stuff. I'm more like the performance, like legging kind of
I'm
thing.
more loungy.
And I love, the duffel bags. I'm not going to lie. The puffy
the
duffel bags.
I love hearing that. I
I'm
feel like
telling you.
this year I've gotten
I
so
have
many more
used it
comments
for
on that.
years, and there's not anything wrong with it. And I've given them for gifts, and they're amazing. And everyone still uses them. They're so cool.
And the plush blanket.
Yeah, that's nice.
That we all have different colors.
I'm like, we all have one.
The boys love them. They hold up great. The boys, I use them as baby blankets, and they wash
Machine
great.
washable, I assume.
They are
baby blanket.
very machine washable, and very soft. And that's ultimately what Petula, one of the biggest features of Petula is just the softness.
Yeah.
And the comfort, and then trying to make every piece super flattering on women. Again, just trying to make women feel good.
I'm telling you, your stuff makes butts look good.
Yeah.
It does.
I'll let you know.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
Brian will let us know.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
The husbands usually do a good job of letting you know.
See what the
so
husbands say, but I'm telling you, I swear they do. I swear they
awesome.
do. Yeah. And so, being moms, like I appreciate everything you guys have gone through. You're a PA, an MD, you were a nurse, now started a entrepreneur. What has been like your biggest challenge as a mom and like being in your individual like working roles?
I mean, I have several things
Go
come
ahead.
to mind.
Go ahead.
I will say trying, like the pressure, we hear this like balance. How do you balance it? How do you balance it? And my answer to that is that there's no balance. Like this week, I can tell you work is winning, right? I'm here. My day off is supposed to be tomorrow. I'm going to be at work. And then I fly out for a CME conference on Thursday night. So it's like this week, work is winning. But that doesn't mean that I don't necessarily have a balanced life. It's like you have to look at the big picture.
Yeah.
And so my key to balancing my life is knowing that there's never going to be a balance in the short term. It's kind of it's a long term.
Big picture.
Yeah.
You
It's
can't look
true.
at day to day.
I was talking to one of my friends just this week about that, like balancing, and she's like, I think it's a trade-off. It's always a trade-off. You're always picking one or the other. I mean, it just is what
Right,
it is.
and you can't feel bad either way
Yeah.
Which is the hardest
in
part.
the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're like, there is no balance.
Right.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The key is just knowing,
It takes that pressure off.
yeah, like next week is a different week.
Yeah.
My kids, are graduating elementary school and
Are you doing a
and,
clap
and
out?
so exactly. So I have more home school PTO stuff next week. So it's like this week is this, next week is that. And then you just have to move forward knowing
Yeah.
that it's never going to be balanced in the moment.
Yeah.
And I think off of that, like mine would be knowing that there are seasons. Like knowing that there are seasons where your kids are little and you're just trying to get, day by day. And then this season is like, don't let the days slip by. Like be present every single day because they do go fast. Like the
goes
toddler
really
days,
fast.
it's like, God, these days are
It
taking
goes
a long time.
really fast.
And now I'm like, be present, be present, be present. Put down your phone, listen to them. When they're dancing and singing, like be there and like make memories. And so I think it's just always a season and not putting that pressure that you have this expectation of what that season should look like because it changes all the time. And knowing that like there's always things in each season that you want to last forever, things that you'll mourn are gone, but all like the next season there's always amazing things ahead. And I think a mom said that to me when I was like pregnant or sometime where I couldn't really hear it.
Amazon's here.
Oh jeez.
I couldn't have a more mom thing.
It doesn't normally come to the back, but
That's
maybe it's
hilarious.
was like,
Well, he
picture
wanted to
behind
see
the
what was
shoulder.
happening. I just couldn't watch. I'm sorry, but
wish
the
you
whole
would've looked
time.
at
That's
I
how
know.
that's how you balance momhood with
I was
work.
gonna say if that's
Amazon.
diapers, formula,
Yes,
bottles.
sure.
Yeah.
DoorDash and Amazon just bring everything
Did
to
they
the-
do it before?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well,
I know.
I think we are in a different generation of all of us are working moms, and it is. It's trying
Well, I'm
to.
a working grandma.
That's-
I'm not a working mom
Gigi,
anymore.
you're a Gigi.
I'm a working Gigi. Yes.
That's even more because you have more people in your life.
Because you have your
that
kids
you are-
and your
Thank you,
grandkids.
Sam.
Yeah.
Thank you. I have son-in-laws now. I've got grandkids. I have children.
Can we just
Very
say
not there yet.
she does not look like a grandma?
I just,
Yeah.
She's like one hot grandma in there.
That's
When she
well,
said
I
that.
am,
Yes.
and I feel very old. So there you go. But go ahead.
You do
Speak.
not like that. But no, I would say the same with you guys. I mean, and again, I've heard that, soak in the moments. And luckily my boys are still younger and we're doing our best, Scott and I, but running a business. And even that, Scott and I come home and we are still talking business for the next 3, 4, 5 hours. Our social media, our brand is on social media. It's a 24/7 business.
Yeah.
You can't shut it down.
Yeah.
And so it is. We're trying really hard to be able to put, even when your son says, "Hey, Mom, like put your phone down," or that one hurts because
Yeah.
it's like you're working, but then it's like, okay, we're gonna put it down. We're gonna put it down because
Yeah.
you're gonna
Wait till he's
I'm
13.
at the
He has his own phone.
Yeah.
And I say, put your
exactly
phone
right.
down. He's like, then you put your phone down.
Oh,
and we're like,
yes,
truce.
yes, that's
I mean,
true.
yeah.
You've got a weapon then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think it is. It's like what you said, and it's understanding expectations. We were talking about perceptions before, but expectations, we can't do it all. And maybe some weeks, some days we feel like super mom, and then other times we feel like a failure.
Sometimes in the same day.
same, yeah, in 20 minutes it will happen. Absolutely.
I'm currently failing.
Doubtful. I bet your
Doubtful,
kid.
yeah.
I haven't met your kids, but I bet they're
Yeah.
great kids.
They're
and it's-
great.
They're great
You're
kids.
doing great.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do it without other women.
A support system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a husband, amazing, wonderful. We can talk about that.
Different.
Yeah.
It's different.
Different
but like
than women.
having those women around to just let you know, like, hey, it's not forever, or this is what I tried, or I've made that mistake too. I've done that. Your kids will still be okay.
They'll survive.
Yeah, like that's so important. I don't know how people do it without a village. It truly takes a village.
It does.
You always say that.
I
well,
do.
and I think a lot of that too, because you've moved around a lot. And I think that I initially, when my kids were little, I moved around a lot with my ex-husband's job. And I met 2 women in North Carolina that I would never have survived had I not met them. I can remember money was tight when we first started out. Because we had little ones right away. And you know how expensive kids are. Jeez. And so we were like, trying to like get by. And I remember them showing up, and I'll never forget it. And I don't know why I just thought of this, but it actually kind of makes me a little bit emotional. But it was a dresser that they got and refurbished for me, for Maddie, and put these cute little glass little knobs on it, like so girly and cute. And they just like brought it over to me. And I hardly knew these girls, but they knew I had moved there. And they knew I didn't know anyone. And they knew I had a little baby, baby toddler. And I was like, oh, I really need a dresser. And I was looking, and I was like, oh, they're really expensive. And I wasn't like complaining. And they just like heard, and it's like, that means so much. And it's so true. But I really feel like when you move around a lot, like you did, you really feel that. Like you feel that like extra family. That
Like we never had family.
Yeah.
Like I had both my girls in Oklahoma. We had no family. And so Jared and I, my husband would like walk at night, and we're like, okay, we're here to find friends. And we would like literally do our evening walk.
Like
and then
intentional.
we had Adeline and Rylan. I'm like, family walk to find friends. And we would like see anyone out, and we're like, hi. Like we just made friends, and we did it in Wisconsin. And then we came here, and we did the same thing. And we met friends across the street, and I like brought nothing but cakes over. And she was like, well, when I knew that you brought nothing but cakes to introduce yourself to the neighborhood, I knew that we'd be friends. Like you just, I don't know, friends become family.
Yeah, they do. And I think when you move somewhere, you are intentional about it. Especially when you have little kids, you force yourself on people so your kids have people to play with. And I think that if you're you're in your comfort zone with your family, it's like you're not as intentional about it, but it really
I like
helps.
saying that I was looking for friends instead of I forced myself on people, but however you want to put it.
Tomato,
Carrie,
tomato.
it's fine.
I think you forced.
Fine, I can force.
I think you forced yourself on me.
Whatever.
Too, so that's fine.
You're shoving nothing but cake down your throat.
Do you want to be friends? Do you want to be friends? What are you doing?
And
Friday?
alcohol. So I'll ask you guys as, we're going to talk about being working moms. So I'll ask kind of both ways. I'll go around to all 3 of you. So what has been like your biggest challenge from a work perspective, like that you faced?
Gosh, am I first?
Yeah, sure.
You're looking at me.
We'll go this way and then we'll go this way.
Biggest working challenge, going back to like my balance comment, that was me. I finally figured that out like 10 years later. And I remember saying this to Dr. Seifert because she had asked me when they were starting to think about having a family. She's like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I don't. Like, there's no secret. The secret is there's no secret.
Yeah.
And so you just do. Luckily, I have had a very supportive network, like you alluded to. It takes a village. Friends, my parents, my in-laws, and my husband too, right? Like he had to morph, and we had to morph together.
Yeah.
And so needs change, phases change, and just being like, I'm a pretty direct communicator. So it's like when I get home and the dishes aren't done and you work from home, that pisses me off. Like that.
Yeah.
Or like,
It takes 2 to tango.
yeah, I will never forget. We were out to dinner with my firstborn, and we flew down to Florida, I think for my mother-in-law's like 60th birthday or something. And we got to dinner, and he's like, did you pack the bottle? And I said, did you? Like, why? It's like learning together as a team, right? And that's hard. Like, that is really hard.
Like, whose
so
responsibility is it?
yeah, and it's learning how to communicate. It's using your resources and delegating. I don't know. I still haven't figured it out, you guys. Like I told you, I am net losing this week. So I literally I just told my team yesterday, we were talking about like youth sports and stuff. And I said, I don't know how we're going to do it. Like my daughter's soccer schedule and this and that, blah. And then I was like, good thing I'm on the podcast tomorrow for how to figure out how to balance your life. I said, follow me for more parenting advice.
Yeah, we're going to figure it out on this podcast.
If anybody can, and
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, tell me how to do it. And I am an open book. Like,
what about you? What's been the biggest challenge you faced? Like, did you have like little ones when you were in med school still, or was it after med school?
Oh, no.
It was after? Okay.
But was that was worse?
I haven't found the right person.
Having a kid in med school is easier than having a kid in residency, for sure.
I had him after.
Yeah.
I had him when I had like my dream job and I was working all the time. But luckily I worked at a great place where I could be pregnant. I could bring my newborn with me.
Nice.
So I did sideline coverage for sports. So like all female coaches, they didn't care if I had a kid with me.
Did you just like have her in the backpack and then you could run out in the field and tend to an injury? Or
They didn't care.
I love it.
I mean, that's how it was. Like I had.
I mean, do you want to hold a new baby?
I mean, I just hand it to the athletic trainer. I'm like, here, I'm going to do
always
this.
fight over the babies.
I know, that's so true.
I think for me, like, I grew up in a house where my mom was like, so my dad left when I was young. And so my mom was like, you're going to have a job that you can like support yourself. And I'm like, okay, so it's doctor or lawyer when I was growing up. And my mom was is an ER nurse. And so that I grew up in the hospital. So I was going to be a doctor and I loved it. Still love it. And so I think it's hard, like trying to teach, I have 2 girls, trying to teach them the balance between like being able to be your own person, make your own way. You don't need anyone, but also still like having that ability to be vulnerable with other people.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing for me.
Balance, yeah.
Because there was no vulnerability when I was growing up. It was like, this is what you're going to do. This is what we did. You're going to make enough money. Like, you don't need a man. I'm like, I don't need a man. But like, I have a man and he's wonderful.
Yeah.
And like, I couldn't do any of this without him.
Yeah.
So it's trying to teach, I think, the girls that like, work is important. It's not everything, but it also like does take precedence sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's trying to teach them that. Like, how do you discern when work takes precedence or them, you know? Like right now they're at home, just the 3 of them, like hanging out. We have no sports tonight. They're just,
And
you
you're
know?
here.
And I'm like, I put dinner in the refrigerator.
Isn't it interesting though, because just based on your upbringing, I'm sure your upbringing, like we all have a little bit of a different perspective on it.
Yeah.
But it's all to just be better moms.
Yeah.
To live a better life and to be good role models for them. And
I feel like we're all doing the best we can at that moment in time with the resources we have. Like no
I
one's-
actually say that now to my kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I'll just say,
I'm not a perfect mom.
I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah.
Nobody's a perfect mom.
I am doing the best I can. Like, and I know that may seem really shitty to you right now.
But
I promise.
Oh my God.
I promise. Like, this is all I have left in the tank. Like,
And in 2 years, I might say like, "Oh, that was a mistake that I did. Like, I'd handled that
Sure.
poorly."
We
but
all
like,
make
I'm doing the
mistakes.
best I can for today.
1,000,000%.
Today,
And you don't know what tomorrow's going to come. My girlfriend, actually, I love her. We've been all the time together, and she's got 2 sets of twins, 2 boys and 2 girls. Yeah. Yeah. And
give her a hug.
I'm telling you, if I go and vent to her, my issues are
Yeah, you just feel like,
real low.
like I'm
compared to her.
sorry, I'm venting.
Yeah. But I think she tells her boys too. She's like, I know just as much as you know in a lot of these situations. Like she's just rolling with it every single day, you know? So and even if you have a 14-year-old and then you have another one coming up, they're going to potentially have different experiences or put you in different situations than the first and all that stuff. And my 2 biggest challenge would be time management, which goes back to the balance, of course. Because again, it's really hard to. That's a challenge that I'm finding is with a social media company, and things are ever changing, and we're pivoting just as a company in general. Things are. I'm working on every vacation. I'm working, but then I also appreciate that I have more flexibility in other things. So, my goal is once the boys start classes or school and sports, I'm hoping that I'm going to have more flexibility to say, hey, I won't be able to do that. Or I could sort of work a little bit while I'm at those places. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't been there yet. I haven't navigated it. But then the other challenge is judgment. I feel like parenting is one of those things that people judge others for really significantly. And so I always want to be one to not judge what another couple is doing for their kids, because that might be the only way they know how, or that's how it's going to work for them.
Yeah.
So I'll never forget. So I was in Oklahoma, talking about judgment. I was in Oklahoma. I had taken my oldest, she has her own personality. It's my personality.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, that's weird.
Yeah. I was like,
so we went to Kohl's because I had to get her like a present for her friend's birthday party or something, and she threw a fit, and I literally it was like a hat. I had the present, and I had her like this in my hand. The whole way. She's screaming.
Horizontal.
Oh
Flailing.
I give the hat. We pay for it. I get looks. I'm like, judge me when you're here. Like, I put her in the car. I still had one more gift to give from a jewelry store. So I put her in the car, and I was pregnant. So she was like 1 and a little change. And I put her in the car, and I went to the jewelry store. All glass windows in a jewelry store, right?
Oh, gosh.
So I leave her in the car. I just was picking up something that I had already ordered. Like, I just had to go. So I go in, and I'm like watching her, because, all the moms are scared that a kidnapper's out on Tuesday at 11 a.m. to go take a kid from a random jewelry store car. That was locked.
And then you're like, I dare you to kidnap her.
Yeah. Go for it.
She's having an exorcism.
Yeah, literally. And I keep looking back, and I'm like, I just need this, and I'm doing. And the lady's like, is that your child in the car crying? And I was like, would you rather me bring her in here with all your glass and jewelry? I'm happy to. She's screaming, we just left Kohl's with her under my arm. Do you want me to bring her in here? Is that what you want me to do? And she's like, no, it's okay. Here you go. Here's your receipt. And that's just like the judgment that moms have.
Yeah.
Like, back off.
Yeah.
yeah.
Agree.
I totally agree with that.
I will never forget, speaking of just like also the feeling of not knowing what you're doing. My oldest hit his head like on a slide in the playground in kindergarten. And the nurse called, and I said, oh gosh, can you send me a picture? And she knew I worked in like plastic surgery, right? So she's like, oh gosh, I'm not gonna like mess around with this kid. Like, we're gonna fix him up. So I'm like, I'm gonna close that. So I had my husband go get Lucas, my oldest, bring him to the office. I will never forget it. He was so scared, and he looked at me like I was laying his head down and I was going to close his head. And he was like, do you know what you're doing? And I said, bud, of anything I've ever done for you, this is the most confident I've ever been.
That's the most trained.
That is like an aha moment there.
I was like, yes. I do know what I'm doing for you right now.
1,000,000%. Like, nobody gets mom training.
This is easy. This is easy. Somebody taught me this.
Yeah.
Nobody teaches you how to be a mom.
It's so funny. I have a story about the tantrum thing. I can remember like walking out, and like they're screaming, and you're carrying them out, and everyone's looking at you, and they're like, is that your child? And I was like, yeah, do you want them? Because this is the last child I'd ever kidnap. So if you want them, you can take them right now. Like, because you know how the day and age, they're just like, is that your child? Because they look like they hated me.
And who asks that?
I know. Like, is that
you
your
just
child?
said no and kept on walking.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Found 'em.
I'm like, you can have them though, but I don't want them. But anyway.
That
So
actually would be
on the flip side of that, I'll start with Sam.
Thank you.
Yes.
on the spot.
What has been your proudest moment as a business owner, and your proudest moment as a mom?
Oh my gosh.
And you can talk about like career, like obviously you don't like whatever, but as a doctor, as a PA, your proudest moment, and then as a mom.
Well, I think my proudest moment has just been being able to have the guts to completely change my career, and I really did it with so much like ambition and motivation, and I didn't look back. Because I usually don't like taking risks, to be honest. I'm very calculated, and for some reason, something just led me that direction. And yeah, it was like an easy decision for me. But then to be able to say, yeah, like, this fashion is very hard to continue. It's sort of easy to get into, but to be able to be here 10 years later and to still be doing that, especially with no prior experience, didn't know I really had a passion for it as much. To be able to do that, I would say that would be my biggest accomplishment career-wise. I think being a mom, I don't know. I think I might be still trying to figure it out. I feel like, obviously we're all biased because we all love our kids, but I feel like so far the boys, they're good boys, And I guess that's all I could ask for right now, being 3 and 5. They haven't had big life challenges or lessons, but being able to try to have a good home to raise them in with Scott, my husband, I think right now I would say that's our biggest accomplishment.
I love that.
Yeah.
Weston, you're up.
What was the question again?
What's your proudest moment, from a work perspective and like from a career perspective, and then as a mom?
I think my proudest moment maybe is that I've probably had like 2 dream jobs. So I got to do my sports medicine dream job with Oklahoma, and now I have a dream job with functional medicine that I didn't really know was my dream until later in life, and get to work on some of the business part and the medicine part, which I also didn't know it was a thing that I wanted to do. But I think that's just a testament to like one step at a time, learning what you want, doors open, and like, I don't know, just having the courage to go through. As far as the kids, God, that's a hard question. I hope that we are raising our kids to, this is just like our personal family, like we hope we're raising them in the faith, that they, I don't know, learn to love Jesus and love other people. And I think right now we're doing that. Might be still up in the air. I'll let you know in a couple of years.
You are doing that.
You are doing that.
You are doing that.
I think that's,
Your girls are great.
That's all you can ask for, right?
Yeah.
Like, treat other people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't care what you accomplish, really. Like, so. But it's hard, though. I think that's the hard thing with motherhood. It's like retrospective.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know if I'm doing a good job. You don't know until later, and
grow
you're
up.
like, shoot, I really messed that up, and then there's nothing you can do about it.
I know. It's very true.
Yeah, like at what age are you like, okay, I did
Never.
my job
Never.
is done.
I think you're never. I think sometimes my mom looks at me and she's
never.
like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think
My-
never. Yeah, because I mean, my kids are 30 and late 20s, mid 20s, and I'll like think, oh, you probably should have done that. Like I failed you there. I probably should have like coached you on that like moment more and like how you should have handled that. But it's just funny, yeah. But
I'm sure you did. They probably just didn't listen.
maybe I think you just think you're doing it through like example, without actually speaking. Like they're just kind of seeing, and they don't always see, I think.
No, well, I think my example is better than it probably really is.
Say the words at them.
Like you don't realize until your kids are a mirror. And you're like,
Yeah.
so first you're like, I'm doing pretty good. And then like your kid does something and you're like, where'd you learn that? And your husband's like, it's totally you.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's me. Like
Yeah.
I thought I was being a good example.
And then you
but
become your
I'm actually
own
not.
mom.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Steve.
Yeah.
What are you proudest about
Okay.
from like a career standpoint and then as a mom?
So they both kind of tie in together.
Okay.
And I'm going to tie them in 2 very different ways.
Okay.
I have always remained true to myself in both avenues. And so I feel like with my first job, I was ready for it. I was sucking in all the information. I was at Ohio State. I was basically like a resident, right? So I had graduated. I had my first big time job, and I was going to learn. And so I learned everything I knew about plastic surgery, and it was amazing for that phase of life. And then I moved on to another private practice, and I learned so much there, and I'm so thankful for it. But I also knew that it wasn't for me. And so I moved on again. And that was hard, to your point. Knowing like not the unknown, fearing the unknown, made another change just knowing that wasn't for me. So I feel like I've always kind of followed my gut, and it was actually my mom that pointed that out to me. So I was really, that just kind of makes you think. Moving into my personal life, I will tell you that my youngest of 3 was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes and very sick, almost 2 years to the day. I guess it will be next month is his diversity, which is a thing in the type 1 diabetes community. And I have really, really helped him and my husband navigate this diagnosis with confidence that he can do anything he wants to do. It's not a crutch. I'm not going to feel bad for you, and you shouldn't expect others to feel bad for you. And you have the tools, and I'm going to teach you tools that help you get through anything you need to get through.
Well,
So,
and you killed it.
That.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have killed it.
That's awesome.
And again,
And on that note,
I don't give compliments unless
I'm going to take a drink.
Yeah.
I feel that. Like, I went through that too. Not that specifically diabetes, but my Nick was diagnosed with PANDAS, which is a fairly unknown thing. Imagine how much 15 years ago it was even more unknown, and it completely changed our lives. And I remember it could have really hindered him from a social perspective and being accepted by people, because it was very outwardly visible because he had tics and things going on, and we didn't know why. It just all of a sudden happened. But I can remember you just go into mama bear mode, and you're just
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing, and you're like, you know what? You're gonna go in there, and before anyone can make fun of you, you're gonna make fun of yourself. You're just gonna get just break the ice, because people are gonna notice it. They're gonna wonder what's going on. So just deal with it.
He's done stand-up comedy.
Yeah, now he does stand-up comedy. He is the most confident kid I have ever met
And
in
he's
my
very
life.
good looking.
He's very cute. But literally, he has more confidence in his Pinky than I swear anybody I've ever met in my life.
That's my Alex.
Yes.
That's my Alex.
And it's not, like you said, it's not a crutch.
I know.
It can
It's
empower them 1,000,000%.
not.
But I think that's how you handle it. And so good for you. And I would probably say that is absolutely my proudest thing. I raise good humans, as humans, but him facing that adversity and completely coming out on the other side with so much confidence, humor, being able to laugh about it and laugh at himself and whatever is probably my proudest thing too. So yeah, but
he is.
Yeah,
He's so charming.
Oh yeah,
How did you guys, what did you guys do in those situations? I mean, you said you didn't use it as a crutch.
Yeah.
He wasn't playing victim. You just lived life. Was there any, because that's what my biggest worry. So my 2 little boys, again, you were just saying, every kid has a different personality, and they're gonna react differently, even though they're raised by the same parents.
Yeah.
Right? We already talked about this.
It's so true.
Yeah. And so how do you, my concern for our oldest, he's just more of the sensitive one of the two. And we haven't yet hit possible bullying. We haven't hit those years of if he comes home not feeling good enough or, because he's also a perfectionist right now. And again, he's only 5, so I don't know.
How
do I navigate that?
Trust your gut. You know.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
That's my.
But if he doesn't do it right the first time,
it's hard on
he's
himself.
done. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to navigate that. But it sounds like with both of your kids, they were able to did they do it mostly on themselves, on their own? You guys just
No.
didn't treat him any differently?
No, I never treated him differently.
We actually went to therapy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had him in therapy, which was,
that helped.
I will never say no to any type of therapy.
There's never anything negative about therapy. I
No,
feel
okay, I wasted my time, but I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's also having a partner with your husband, and it's constant reinforcement that to your issue, my oldest has the same issue. Mistakes are okay. You're gonna make mistakes. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. pointing that out. I'm just doing my best. But you have to move forward. And I think that's if your children, in my opinion, are hearing a constant message from both their mom and their dad, that's positive, and you are a team together, it's gonna stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're on the same page, it's gonna stick.
And I also think like I was always preemptively kind of talking to like teachers or coaches ahead of time because, you know, it was obvious there's something going on. And so I would address it prior to, like with the coach, to be like, hey, just so you have a heads up, this is what's going on. This is why this is happening. This is what we're dealing with. And so then they were like aware because they're busy. They've got kids to manage. And so I think just having like their support gave then the kids confidence. Like it was more of a village, right? It's more of a team effort. It's like they know what's going on. They're there to help too. They're there to make sure like they're being, you know, assimilated into like the group or the team, or they're, you know, if they feel like they're not paying attention or something's going on, they know why. And it's not just being disruptive or it's being, you know, something. It's like they can't help it and this is what's going on and this is why it's going on. And I think that helps too. And I wouldn't even let my kids know I did that. I would just kind of say like, hey, just so you know, this is what's going on. We're trying to figure it out and give some grace and, you know, whatever. And they would be like, oh, cool. Like, but it just made it, it was put on their radar. So I think they kind of help navigate it when you're not around to help with that kind of stuff, like the things that they're challenged with. Because teachers are amazing, coaches are amazing, but they balance a lot of things and they want to do what's right. But sometimes you know, you got to like get them in the loop. And I think that helps too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think kids are different nowadays than when
Yeah.
we were younger. Like, my oldest plays volleyball, and we got tears. It could go from 2-0, we're winning, 5-0, we're losing, and we got tears on the court.
Oh, gosh.
Legit tears from multiple people. So we got a sports psychologist. Like, it's just different nowadays. It's the perceived pressure from people around them, not even true pressures.
Yeah.
But I think one of the greatest pieces of advice came from a college friend of mine, and I'm not going to be able to remember the book. Something about like raising kids who fail or raising good adults, but it's about letting kids fail, like letting them have natural consequences. Because so often we're like, what?
You want to step
You
in and
forgot
fix
your
it?
lunch?
Yeah.
I will be right up there. Or like, what? You forgot your homework? And then like we run up there and we bring it, and we're like, no, they're not going to go hungry. They'll be just fine.
I know, but
let them forget the homework.
How many people? I am so with you, and that's why we resonate with each other.
We don't bring our kids. My husband and I both we don't bring our kids stuff.
How many other people on your daughter's volleyball team would do that?
I mean, since they might all be watching.
So I'm
gonna
a
say
complete
they're all
opposite. I was a stay-at-home mom. So that's a whole different vibe. So my advice for stay-at-home moms would be, because that's what I did, and that was my choice. And I always had jobs, part-time jobs here and there, never a career, right?
It doesn't matter how busy you are, though.
No, but I was a stay-at-home mom, so I felt like I had to.
That was her job.
Because that was my job. And so I was constantly there, like, oh, well, I'm here. I need to, it's across the street. Like, literally, my kids' schools were across the street.
Well, I want to release
But
people
no,
of that.
but I'm going to say, and I want to release stay-at-home moms
to raise
from that.
adults.
Because I wish I hadn't done that.
Yeah.
So that would be a learning moment for, like, all stay-at-home moms. Let them fail. Let them not have their lunch. Guess what? They're not going to forget it again.
You know what?
That was a learning moment for me.
I worked at University of Oklahoma. I worked in their student health center. I worked with their athletes. Do you know how many times we'd have kids come in? They'd come in for a headache. They didn't even take an Advil. They didn't have their paper.
They're not hydrated.
And then I got moms calling me. I'm like, your kid's 20. They can vote.
Yeah, that's funny.
They can serve overseas.
They can shoot a gun
Yeah.
in other countries.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? I mean, I'm not saying we're perfect. I am by far
A
from
million
perfect.
%.
But also, like, if there was one thing, it is like
Let 'em
your
fail.
kids fail.
1,000,000%.
Under your roof.
Well, think how
Let
we
them
all
be
learned
hurt.
with failure.
Let them be hurt under your roof. Let them not be invited to the party under your roof. Let them be bullied under your roof. Let them have those things while you're still there, so that when they're in college and they don't have you there, they're gonna go to who knows who to ask or for comfort or whatever. I want that stuff to happen while I'm there. You don't have to, make it happen, but gosh, I want them to feel those things with someone who can help them through it.
Yeah.
And so like, I mean, I know you're earlier in the process than us, but like,
Yeah.
No, well,
There's so
but
much
I'm still
learning with
early.
failure.
Yeah, and I'm still early, so it I think there is a struggle. It's like you feel if you don't go and do that, because I do that with the kids right now. Mom, can go get me a water, go get me a milk. They say it nicer than that, but they still expect me to do it.
Yeah.
And half the time you feel that, of course, I'm your mom. Let me go get it. But then it's like, Jules, you're old enough. You can go get your own milk. You know, so it's like, letting them live their life and make those decisions, critically think outside the box, and it's not everything's handed to them.
I mean, we're used to it because when they're 2, they can't.
Right.
Then I'm like, you can. Why don't you get me a milk?
I still catch that, like with myself. And then I'll be like, wait, hold up your 2 arms.
Yeah.
Move them around. Do they work?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, great.
I
Go
mean,
get
my
yourself
husband's
some.
really good at like, you got laundry? Because we got sick of like, where's this shirt? It's not done yet. And we're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They do their own laundry. They're 12 and 10.
Mom hack for me, I would do laundry because like I was home, whatever. I would do laundry. I always had him put it away.
Yeah.
Because I got so sick of where's my shirt?
Yeah.
Where's my jeans?
Yeah.
Where are
It's where
these
you put it.
pants? And
Wherever
so I
you
would
left
always
it.
say,
Yeah, that's right.
It's wherever you left
here's
it.
your laundry. You are putting it
Smart.
away
Yeah.
because then you'll know where everything is. So that is like my mom hack. Is
Well, the other thing my kids say, you have to do that. Well, they don't say it anymore. You have to do this. You have to do that. I'm like, I have to pay taxes. That's pretty much all I have to do.
That's also
very
good.
true. Very true. Yeah.
We'll write out these statements to put on a billboard, ready to rock and roll in a couple of years.
I once heard, so I didn't grow up with a lot. Like I said, my mom's single mom house, which we keep talking about partners. And so it is really hard for single moms.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Without a
yeah.
partner, like
I
it's really
could-
hard.
Cheers
You
to
can
the
still
single
form a
mom.
village. You can still
I
form a
guys,
village.
yes. I
Cheers
can't
to the single moms.
imagine.
I don't know how.
Cheers to them.
I just want,
Cheers.
like, we
We can
keep talking about partners and, like, single mom, I don't know. I would probably give my kids whatever they wanted because I just wanted them to be quiet.
Yeah.
Because you're the only one. You never get a break.
When you feel
For
like
sure.
you're never good
Single-
at anything,
I mean-
you're not good at your job. You're
No.
not enough of an
No.
employer. You're not enough of a mom. You're not enough of an anything.
And I would just depend on women. Like, I think so often women don't ask each other for help enough.
Yeah.
It's a blessing to give help
Yeah.
and a blessing to receive. Like, it's so, like, we always say, like, don't deny someone the blessing. Anyway, I know I've totally forgot what I was going to say.
You said
mom.
something about. Oh, you didn't grow up with a lot.
Oh, I didn't grow up with a lot. And so when we would ask for stuff and my mom would say no, she said no because she couldn't.
Yeah.
And, like, we say no because we won't.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well, because you don't want to
It's
give
hard
them
to say
everything
no.
either,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
I remember even Scott said a story that when he was moving, because my mother-in-law, there was a moment there where she was between marriages and she was working as a nurse actually, and Scott, they didn't have a lot, so he got creative and instead of having an actual basketball hoop, he made it out of a paint can. You know, and so you get creative when you don't have a lot, and you might honestly appreciate that more when you get older, when things aren't handed to you. But yeah, how do you navigate
It's hard.
wanting to give them things?
Yeah. And having the resources, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
saying
it's
no.
I won't. It's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's
hard.
tough.
They're both hard in different ways.
Yeah. 1,000,000%. So, kind of talking about, because I want to talk about this because I know like health, nutrition, exercise, movement is a huge part of your life. And I know it's a part, like we talk about it all the time. Like every podcast that comes up in some capacity, it doesn't matter what we're talking about. And so I do want to kind of address that because I know it's hard to balance working and staying, like, you know, meals. Because you're in a hurry and you're like, what am I going to do? And how am I going to like actually work out today? And so how does like, what are like all of you, like your advice? Because I knew Sam, like she was Lean Machine when I knew her. That was her Instagram. Well, Lean Machine 21 or something.
Yeah, you have great memory.
Yeah. Well, I remember 21 because that's my birthday. So because I use 21 a lot. So I'm like,
it's good.
So, and I, like saw her and you were like, still are, like, I know you're pregnant right now, but still are in incredible shape. And that was always a huge focus. And I was always like, oh my gosh, looks amazing. I did your app. I did your booty challenge. I gained 2 inches on my booty, just going to say, during her challenge.
Gosh,
2 inches.
is a lot.
2 inches. I did my measurements.
She worked.
I did my measurements. I did everything. It was this 8-week thing or something. It was crazy.
And then you wear patoola and it looks like 3 inches.
Heck
I'm telling you,
Help
the
both ways.
patoola makes your butt look better. I'm not kidding you. But anyway, did it all. And so, like, because I know that's a change. Like, you went from, that was your whole life, to then you lose that when you're pregnant. You don't have control over that.
Totally.
Yeah. So that had to be hard. And then how do you manage that? And then being like working moms and trying to like balance eating decent and working out and trying to like maintain all that. That's exhausting. I'm sorry. Just me saying it's exhausting.
My eyes rolled back.
I know. I'm like, just me saying that's exhausting. I can't even imagine trying to do it.
You guys do it.
I'll just, I'm going to take
You tell me, because I don't do it.
I'm going to drink while you explain.
That's fine.
I don't do all of it.
Carry on.
Well, what I'll say, probably because I had, with competing, when Scott and I competed, maybe for 2 or 3 years, you get so in a routine. You're prepping your food on a Sunday and a Wednesday, knowing that you are always prepared, right? And that would be the biggest thing that in my 20s, I was able to focus on. I didn't have my first until 30. So all of my 20s, I was able to be like, okay, no excuses, no excuses. Exercise 7 days a week. I even told Scott, he'll still remind me of this. It's like, there will never be a day I don't go and work out. Trust, I'm working out. I think I'm lucky or I'm blessed enough that I started so early that muscle mass lasts a little bit, so I don't have to work out like I did in my 20s, but that was like a godsend. But trying to prepare yourself for success for the week, but also giving yourself grace and knowing that it might not happen the way you want. It comes back to those expectations, right? My expectations were so high in my 20s, but now with the kids, it's like, okay, I know that I won't be able to have the same time for myself as I used to, but maybe even 15 minutes or 30 minutes at the gym a couple of times a week I'm still happy with it at this point. But yeah, in my 30s, things have completely changed, but having a few good habits from my 20s has really allowed me to kind of keep it in my life without it being one of my priorities, right? But I will say, we used to prep every meal, all the food. I DoorDash more than, it's embarrassing how much I DoorDash.
What's your go-to DoorDash?
I have a different name under DoorDash because
You have what?
A different name.
I have a different name on DoorDash. Yeah.
Oh my God, why do you DoorDash? What's your go-to?
what's
It's a men's name.
I'm dying.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me the
John
name?
Smith.
But what is like what's your go-to DoorDash meal?
Oh my!
also
We do
sad.
sushi, and that's sushi. I'll do sandwiches. Daruma. I don't know if you guys.
No,
do
I don't know Daruma.
I don't know
It's
Daruma.
hibachi.
Oh,
so it's normally
I love
it's like-
hibachi.
You're doing all good things.
I still am
Claim
doing
it,
good
Sam,
things.
claim
I
it.
know. Well, I do eat a lot of chicken fingers and French fries now too.
You have to,
with the
you
boys.
have to clean there are starving children in India. You need to eat the food.
We don't waste that food.
We don't waste food.
No, we don't. Oh yeah, that's
Last few
a
bites of mac and
parenting
cheese,
tip.
couple last tenders.
Yeah. So, but yeah, or again, I try to prep throughout the week, but there are definitely times, because especially when you're a mom and a woman, and in the past being at home with the kids, that was your job, to keep the house clean, to make all the meals. And now when you're working also as a mom, and then there's no food prepped at home at that night. Luckily, I have a wonderful husband who never makes me feel guilty about it. That would make it really difficult.
Yeah.
But,
For him.
that's a good point.
Well, it's
Yeah.
kind of like not bringing your kid their lunch. Figure it out.
Figure it out.
You're going to be hungry, and then
you wanna
tomorrow night,
eat?
maybe you'll meal prep.
Yeah. That's a good
get done
point.
itself.
Hey, we could get the kids to start cooking their meals,
Yeah,
you know.
I can
soon.
send you a link for some good kid knives.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You should. They do like to help.
Yeah.
So that would be great.
I still need your sourdough starter. I gotta get that.
I can do my
I
sourdough
gotta get that.
You do sourdough bread?
Yes. It's super easy.
Is it
Everyone's like,
really?
oh my God. It's so easy.
It's not. I've seen so many people.
No, those are people who are crazy on Instagram. You're watching too much social.
Okay, I'm
They're
gonna
like
cough.
stretch and fold 4 times. And like stretch and fold maybe once. Put it in the fridge. I
Yeah.
don't do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's delicious.
It is really
That
good. She's
would
brought
be-
it to work. It's very good.
Yeah, that would be delicious.
I can't have it. I'm gluten free.
I know, but I feel
celiac.
like I've heard you can.
And Annie tried the gluten free, and she is a cook, and she can't because her sister's gluten free. She just can't
Yeah,
get
I
it right.
promise you guys, I will
Yeah,
like
throw up,
vomit
projectile
for
vomit,
13
yeah.
days. Yeah.
We're not going to do that.
What was the question?
yeah.
Am I supposed to answer? Are we going?
What was my question? Just balancing like fitness and healthy eating because we're so busy. Like, are there any like, if you guys are, okay, this was always my thing, a million sports, a million games, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's dinner time. Like, what's your like go-to meal when you're like in a crunch to eat something somewhat healthy, quick? Okay, don't ever make me
I mean, I can say it. I have a lot of go-tos. 'Cause you
Yeah.
need them.
Well, and like I'll be like, hey, I am
What's your meal plan for
fresh
the
out
week?
of meals. Like, what are you planning this week? I'm
I do the
planning
same.
this. So I know on my weekends, or that's why I love my Wednesday day off.
Yeah.
Like I will be like, okay, I'm gonna grocery shop. I'm gonna make this. This will make us 2 nights, and then we need to go here. Okay, we'll probably order pizza.
Yeah.
Under John Smith. And then that'll get us 2 nights. And then Sunday night we'll grill this, and then I'll chop that up and I'll use.
See, I'm just such not a planner.
So-
I'm a fly by the seat of your pants kind of girl.
If I don't plan, my mother-in-law got me a chalkboard for my kitchen. And if I don't plan, I am cranky.
Oh,
But planning doesn't mean it has to be a homemade meal every day. Planning means Tuesday we're eating out. Wednesday we're doing this. Thursday we're having leftovers. And it might be.
and you know what? That solves when they can read. What's for dinner?
Oh, got it.
Oh my gosh!
We know
I
it
used to
doesn't
hate
solve,
It. What are we
they're
eating? What are we
complaining.
eating?
What are you
that's
making?
good.
What are you making?
What are you making? I'm like, oh my gosh.
Not there yet.
Like, I know when they can read, that solves that problem. Everybody get a
Carrie,
chalkboard
it makes
in
a
your
new
kitchen.
problem.
What? What's the new problem?
We're eating chicken on Thursday. We've had chicken. We eat chicken every night.
You know what I say?
You make it.
Then you cook.
Be
Don't
hungry.
eat. I will say one thing. I don't know if this was the question. It probably isn't. But one thing that
I don't care about questions
one
anymore.
At some point, one mom gave me advice because I am a little crazy with like food stuff, and she said to me, because I'm like, the kids won't eat the food. Like I was just because when we started sending
The kids
them
won't
to
eat the broccoli.
daycare that they cooked the food, then I lost them all. They thought like Cheez-Its was a food group. And so she said to me, she was like, just put fresh vegetables, fresh fruit out on the table. They'll eat one thing that you make. They're not going to starve themselves. So it's been probably a decade that I will put fruit, some kind of raw veggie that I just like. I will literally sometimes throw the bag of carrots, throw whatever I have cut up. I'll just put it on the table and then put our meal because I was so sick of making multiple meals.
Yeah.
I'm like, they'll at least eat that. They're not going to die.
They're not going to die.
They're not gonna die.
Like,
Nobody's
but
dying.
that it somehow freed me from having to do a bunch of two
actually really
meal
smart.
cooking, which gets old real quick.
You just said like, I got advice. I think you've said it a couple of times. Like, I got the best advice. You mentioned a book or something. So what has been like the best advice that mom advice you've gotten from somebody?
I know mine.
I know
You guys
mine
could
too.
go first.
I know
You
mine
go
too.
first.
And it was real simple and it really hit home. And I remember when my kids were small and I was like, oh, this and sleep. And that's also really hard. So I'm not negating that phase, but it's little people, little problems, big people, big problems. And so it's like, don't sweat the small stuff. Like little people, little problems, big people, big problems. And I think about that now all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So soak in these little. They can't open
But the little
fridge, or they.
But like you have a lot of little problems at once.
Yeah.
And like the big people maybe only have one big problem,
Yeah.
but when it's a problem, it's
Yeah.
typically big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
true.
And so it's just not one, no phase is easier than the others. And I always remember thinking every time I figure this phase out, they change. And then I'm like, bobbing and weaving. What are we doing now? Okay. And then I'll figure this out. And then we all change again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My mom
that's
gave me
really
the
nice.
best advice, and it was, never to overreact. Like, I don't care if they walk in and they say, Mom, I just murdered somebody. And you just go, okay, what happened? You know, like, just never be like, what? Oh my gosh. Like, don't ever overreact because they'll never come to you again. And so I always took that really seriously. And I don't care what they say. Like, okay, like, not the best decision, but let's get to why we made that decision. You know, like I would try and like problem solve it with them. And I mean, I wasn't perfect, and there were times I did, but for the majority of things, and usually for the big things, I didn't. You know, they would come to me with like big things, and
I find it easier to not overreact to the bigger things than the smaller things.
same.
You mean like the eye roll?
Yes.
Sass.
It's so true.
Door slamming.
It's so true. That little stuff, you're like, are you kidding me right now? But then like the big stuff.
I told my youngest
You have
I'd
more
smack his
empathy
face
about
off
it.
his
Wait,
head.
it won't be your
How
boys.
do you do
That
that?
girl.
That's what I'm nervous about.
The boys won't do that.
Oh my God, I love it.
I told Alex one day I'd smack his face off his head, and he was like, how are you going to do that?
Oh,
And
that
I
would
was
be
like,
Adeline. I'd be like, oh, that makes me just hurt you more.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any like favorite, like as moms, or just it doesn't even have to be as moms, just like right now, what are you loving as far as podcasts or books or apps or anything that you guys are like loving right now? Anything?
Asking for a
TV
friend.
shows, or like series or like TV series, like what is your guilty pleasures right now?
Well, you just asked a lot of questions.
Yeah, what's your guilty pleasure? Let's just start
I mean,
there.
this is not guilty pleasure. I follow a Juice Box podcast, which is for type 1 diabetic parents. But I feel like that, like,
Yeah.
is a community
Yep.
Yeah.
for me that I can resonate with. But I would hardly call that, like,
Guilty pleasure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, what's your down and dirty guilty pleasure? Is there like a show you like, or like, I mean, other than alcohol?
movies with your kid about?
Well, Carrie, I like popcorn. I like athleisure wear. I do love Yellowstone.
Oh yes. So I'm on to the other
My
ones
husband
now.
and I, like, we have to be very intentional at this phase.
Yeah.
So it's like, I love Emily in Paris, and
Yeah.
I'll watch Sex in the City, and
Yeah.
I can do all these things, but he is not interested. And he'll always be like, can we watch something together?
Yeah.
Even if it's literally for 10 minutes. But we have to be intentional about
Yeah.
finding something like that.
Yeah.
Yellowstone, and then Landman.
Oh, it's so good.
Landman, I actually
Yeah.
like. Well,
So
there's not a
good.
hot cowboy, but I do love Billy Ray
Yeah.
Cyrus in that.
Well,
I'm
Billy
not-
Bob.
Whatever.
Cyrus,
Billy Rock.
wait, what's Billy Bob Thornton? Ray Thornton?
Neither of them are getting me like hot and bothered by this, but
Billy Bob. Too many Billies.
It's not your achy breaky heart. It's
isn't he like 70?
yeah,
Yeah,
but he's
no,
so
I'm
good
saying
in
he's
it.
not hot, but he is
He's so
hilarious.
good in it.
And his role
What
is
is his-
amazing.
No, his
Man?
wife, his ex-wife is incredible. It's Allie Carter. Allie Carter.
Carter.
I
his
want
daughter.
her Levi's.
Oh.
Her body's amazing.
What is
Like
this-
I
what is
like
this
have
show?
a
She does
girl
on that
crush
show.
on
We
her.
Talked
Yeah.
about it.
She's
Donaldson
hilarious
just
in
watched
it.
it.
I don't.
Yeah, it's
listen
so
to him.
good. It's really good.
Can we
Cut
get
that
a
part
mic
out.
check?
Cut that part out.
She just said, I don't listen to him.
No, he did. He had me watch that one with what's that lady who Carrie Russell?
What?
She was the Netflix show with Carrie
the
Russell
curly
in
hair?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
She
I
was
feel like
in-
it's old.
No, it's not old.
Oh.
Like we're hoping for season 2 to come out soon.
I do not know
The
what this is.
Diplomat.
I do not know what that is.
Was it good?
So good. He told me to watch that.
And
It
you
is
can
so
watch it
good.
like with your husband?
yes, because
Okay.
it is like government. Like it is so good, and she is like a.
Badass.
Oh my gosh,
I love that.
it's really good.
What about you?
And all your downtime with little ones.
I know.
Right, like I
But
go
at
to
least
bed.
they go to bed early.
No, they don't. Not ours. You can talk to Scott when he comes in.
We've got to try to do better.
Well, Jules starts kindergarten in the fall, so hopefully. But we do cuddle with the boys a lot at night. They do have their iPads out. That's where we're at. on
Yeah.
that.
No shame.
No shame. Yeah.
They
Do what you gotta do to get through the day.
Yeah.
Dinner.
Yeah, but we do. We sit, like, literally all four of us will sit and we'll snuggle. Jules, the TV will be on for Scott and I, and then the boys will have their iPads. And
I love that.
It's a lot. I mean, yeah, it's really nice time. But Scott and I haven't gotten a lot of like solo time because they go to bed literally when we go to bed.
Oh, gotcha.
I do have to ask, like, are you guys good at date nights? Because I am really bad.
For us, we actually usually take the boys out to dinner with us.
That's not a date night.
It's not a date night. No, we might do. No, we don't. We don't do a lot. I'm with him all the time at work too.
Yeah, but are you like, I don't know.
Oh,
That
no.
doesn't count, I don't think.
We ideally, for me, like, I guess my guilty pleasure would be going on a little vacation with him for sure.
Yeah.
Just to get away.
We try to do like every year, like one a year.
We try to.
Nice.
Usually it was around our anniversary. But like our work trip, we went to Vegas for one of those fashion expos, and that was really nice because we had the 3 days away. But like you said, it takes a village. Only our mother-in-law can watch the boys, or we feel comfortable with that. So that's far and few between.
Yeah.
So we try to. But yeah, date night's very rare. But we do a lot of family time at night, and we're pretty okay with it. We're good with it. Like,
we do family time, but Jared would sure like some one-on-one.
yeah. Well, it probably helped.
Oh, how many years?
13.
13 years
When's
tomorrow.
your anniversary?
I
Tomorrow?
think so. Is it 13?
Nice.
You're asking the wrong lady.
What year is it? 14. It's 14.
14.
Okay.
Well, happy anniversary.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We won't be
Yeah.
going.
That could always be
Where's
better.
my camera? We won't be going out. I have to work.
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday and we have a conference.
It's really hard. We used to be really good about date night and type 1 to put
Yeah.
that nail in the coffin. We would go on trips together, and I really felt like that was awesome for us. But that ship is. Yeah.
You all need to make that a priority.
I know.
Coming from a divorced woman, the only one here, make it a priority because it's like it is important because your kids are going to eventually leave. And one, they need to see a happy marriage because you're modeling something for them. So they need to see how a man should treat a woman, how women should treat a man in a relationship. And for girls, how a girl should be treated, and for a boy, how a boy should be treated. And when they're gone, it's like it's just you guys. So it's important to prioritize that.
good
It really
point.
is.
That's probably something I could definitely
Yeah.
improve on out of all these things.
Really,
Scott's going to let us do a podcast all the time.
really is.
Yeah.
It really
love
is
that.
important.
Yeah.
Well, I just went
And
into
the
the
kids
whole
have to
thing
go
in the
to-
other podcast.
New pool.
Kids have to go to bed earlier.
Kids have to go.
I went and
earlier.
took a
Yes.
deep dive into that.
I
whole
wasn't
concept.
asked to be on that
Yeah, we won't go into that.
podcast about sex. I said I wasn't
I took a deep dive into sex in the last podcast, but we won't go there.
We already did the podcast about sex.
Well, sex, drugs, and menopause, and I talked about how, like, with your partner, that is the only thing that separates your relationship, intimacy, not exactly sex, but intimacy, is the only thing that separates your relationship with your partner than any other relationship you have. It's the only thing that's different. You can communicate with others. You can hug. You can I could give you a kiss and be like, Stacey, good to see you. Like, I can do all that with you and have a great relationship and communicate healthy and like do all those things, spend time with you. But like the intimacy is like that separate piece, and it's really important. So prioritize it. I couldn't say that enough.
Sex is really hard around
Yeah.
pregnancy.
Just in general.
With the
Pregnancy,
with
kids,
Yeah.
small kids.
Yeah.
Small kids.
It's almost easier sometimes with small kids. You can lock them out and put her in. Put
It's
them
the
in
older
crib.
ones because they kind
You
of
can
have
put
an
them in
idea.
the crib.
Yeah, they kind of have an idea.
Our kids go to bed like.
Yeah.
I mean, raise your hand if
It
you've
was
gotten
easy
busted.
when our kid. Oh my gosh!
What was the answer? Question.
We got busted.
got busted.
Oh.
It was Understood.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Wanted to die.
I
Literally
did.
die.
I still do because she brings it up still.
yeah.
Oh, she does?
Oh yeah. Huh. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I want this.
Yeah, that's fine. Edit. Okay, moving on.
It was like,
I'll tell mine if you
Mom.
tell me yours.
Mom,
I heard the
why do you
cough.
want Dad's lap in the shower?
Oh my God.
Darn glass walls on the shower.
Why are you on Dad's lap in the shower? Is this Adeline or Rylan? And how long ago was this?
Not long enough that
I love that.
How long ago was
I
this?
love
I don't know,
that for
like a couple of years.
4?
But still,
2? 1?
2. She's old enough.
She
She's
remembers.
10. Oh,
Oh,
she
yeah.
remembers.
I got the. And I was like, I think there's somebody in here.
In the room. Oh my gosh.
Mine's worse.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're going to have to edit this out.
Don't say it if we have to edit it. It's pointless. But you can.
No, it was like, what were you doing? Like, he's like, I thought you guys were in trouble.
That's awesome.
See what you have to look forward to.
I told him we were watching a war movie. And as I said it, my husband's in the bathroom naked. And I'm so. And my son's horrified. I was like, and I looked at him, I was like, you motherfucker. Because he was laughing.
Oh my God, how funny.
I would die.
We were watching a war movie.
Careful with those war flicks,
I'm
guys.
dying. That's hilarious.
Is that why the guys like the war flicks? Jared will watch, I mean.
Yeah.
I'm dying.
So, pro tip, lock the door.
Yeah.
Well, but we did. And this was more recent, but
MacGyver got
Jules
in.
was in bed. He was in, or he was supposed to be in bed. And he came out and we had the door shut.
Yeah. And it
And-
was.
I was there and he was sitting in this chair. And we thought we were fine. We thought it was fine.
You were like,
2 or 3 days later, we're watching something. And it had some sounds in it.
Oh.
And Jules wasn't even looking at the TV. And he said, that's what you guys were doing. or these were the sounds I heard. Like,
was it a war movie?
it wasn't. It was
We
not a
watched
war
the same
movie.
movie. That's weird.
I know, so weird. But it just totally took us back because we're like, he just heard. But
Oh my gosh. I swear it happens to everybody.
That's
at some point.
hilarious,
Yeah,
though.
that's
But I
funny.
mean, yeah, even at 5, he was like,
Yeah.
those are the sounds you guys were making
That's
a couple
hilarious.
days ago. This is, That was a good one.
Do you guys have like a parenting like fail moment where you're like, if I had to redo, I would
Like
redo?
today? Or.
Yeah.
Today.
Whatever. Yeah, sure.
In the last 15 minutes or 15 years?
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You maybe have more fails because I think I'm in a
There's
different
so many.
perspective than you guys because
it's
they're all
retrospective.
older. Yeah,
That's the
they're
thing.
older. And
Like right now, we're rocking it.
yeah,
We're doing amazing.
I feel
Ask
like
me in 10 years
it's
and I'll
like,
be like,
you get through
really
each
messed
day.
up.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how I kind of approached it. Like you just get through that day and then you move on to the next day and you just get through that day. But like retrospectively, I mean, I'm 50 and I have, older kids and grown and, you have a lot of parenting fails. And I think a lot of it is, for me, I wish I was in the moment more. Because I'm always like, it's time to read a bedtime story. And I'm thinking of the dishes in the sink and the laundry that needs to be done and the cleaning I need to do. And I'm just rushing through the bedtime story or the prayers at night to get to that stuff so then I can have a little me time. Mm-hmm. And I would stay up way too late to have that me time, even though I was exhausted, but I just needed to have time just to myself. And so like, I wish so much I could go back into those little moments with their little teeny hands holding the books and wanting a story or wanting to say a prayer before bed, and I was like trying to hurry through it.
That's literally why we have grandkids, though.
I know it's so true.
I know.
I have all the patience in the world.
Can
for
I
them.
say something?
Yeah.
100% understanding exactly what you're saying and knowing that I epically fail at that every day. But I am so sick of being told to live in the fucking moment. I
agree.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
spent
like-
7 hours in a gym on Mother's Day, and it was 80 degrees and sunny outside. It was the first day I didn't have an outdoor event since February.
Oh, and it was beautiful.
And so it's
out.
like, you're gonna miss this. You'll regret this.
I think you regret it when you have more time.
You know? And,
Yeah,
and I'm
you
like,
do.
when you're in it though,
Yeah.
it's like when you're a teenager.
Yeah.
Like no teenager wants to be lectured at all the time.
No.
And so I feel like, and I feel that, and
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna miss that. I know for a fact.
But in the moment, you don't.
But in the moment,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, like I look back and I don't
would've
even
been the
remember
moment.
my
You know,
kids' last my
That's
kids'
it.
last games. Like I knew like my oldest because she like went to senior year, so I knew her senior night. I knew like okay, these are her last games. But like Maddie kind of bowed out earlier than I thought. Nick had injuries
that's
that made him
interesting.
bow, and I was like, I watched him and I didn't know that was his
but
last
you
game.
remember other
but
things.
what are you gonna
remember
do?
the
Like,
small
I
stuff.
know, but it's Cherish
just
every
kinda-
game?
I know, but it
for
just
that.
kind of sucks. I just like wish I would have
I'm
like.
watching the game and doing my Kroger order from my meal plan.
I know,
because the
but
kids gotta eat
I
too.
feel like when you're 50, you just have a different perspective. You're like, that's kind of like, I don't know.
I know,
Like,
but you
that's-
remember other things, and so it's like maybe the
Maybe.
forced moments.
But then menopause sets in and you don't remember anything.
We have grandkids. Like we don't have that.
I know.
Like you also have to. Who else? I mean, if you're in the moment all the time, you're
Yeah.
gonna have to eat. The house is gonna get dusty. Like
Yeah.
you have to do other things.
Yeah, you do.
And that is why you have grandkids that you can just
I know.
love on them.
It's so
and
different.
Send them
You do
back.
not care.
Yeah.
not
So
care.
like it's all God's
so amazing. Way better than your own kids.
Because you can't be in the moment.
I
all
know.
the
We were
time.
just talking with my parents on the way here.
Way better.
And my mom's like telling me all this stuff. Like, I'm like, Mom, you didn't give a shit about that with me. Like,
This is so
you
true.
let me go
Yeah.
with a broken hand for
yeah.
like a week.
Yeah, Kate, my daughter had
I
a
went
broken
to
wrist for a
church
week, and we did not
And
take her to the
couldn't
doctor.
shake a man's hand. And they were like, you should
Not my
probably-
proudest moment.
Yeah, you should
Yeah.
probably get that checked out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you're worried about this?
Yeah,
Oh, how funny.
Like,
1,000,000%. That's hilarious. So true. My other parenting fail was when I went through my divorce. I took Benadryl a lot to go to sleep because
well, here we go, guys. Buckle up.
because I couldn't sleep because I had a lot of I never had anxiety in my life.
Yeah.
And so I took
Well,
Benadryl to
that
go to
is
sleep.
fair.
Well, Nick was a freshman when we got divorced. So his entire basically high school career, every friend knew I took Benadryl. And so the things I found out that happened after like, oh, Carol took Benadryl. They called me Carol. Carol took Benadryl. We got 20 minutes and they all hell broke loose. And I had no idea until they got older what happened in my house after I fell asleep on my Benadryl.
So
So that's a parenting fail. For
Oh
me.
my God.
Yeah. Don't take Benadryl when you're going through a divorce.
Poor thing.
Yeah, or ever maybe. It's not really good for you.
You could have
Causes
done,
dementia, I hear.
you could have done a lot worse.
I know, true. But he turned out great.
Give
So,
yourself
You
grace.
have good kids that
Turned out
love you,
great.
and you have great
He
relationships
turned out
with your
great.
kids.
He's very, well-rounded. He went to college. He'd already done it, so he was good.
Yeah, that's fine. If he didn't do it then,
was
when
already got it.
Carol was on Benadryl,
I know. I love it.
he's done it now.
I know. So I have I like to play this or that.
I know.
So it'd be fun to do at the end.
Okay.
Because we kind of talked about some stuff. Sorry about my papers, Corbin. I'm going to try and keep them down low. Okay. So, carpool. You're not quite there yet, but it's
Yeah.
So carpool duty
Yes.
or bedtime routine? Which one would you pick
To do or not do?
to do? Bedtime routine sucks.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I
neither.
dreaded
What
bedtime
age is
routine.
this? Like, give
Yeah,
me
can
a.
you give me an age?
yeah.
Because my
and who
kids
am I
currently-
taking? Boys, girls. Where am I
I don't
going?
even
just
care.
say, I-
Worst case scenario, which one would you
my
pick?
My bedtime routine with the girls now, because we did a bedtime routine for way too long.
I still do it with my
But
kids.
it's, I mean, both do. Like, Jared, and we alternate every night. We alternate. That's when they talk.
I know they do.
You know what? I want to stay up.
Do you know how
Yeah,
often I sleep in my own
stay
bed?
up.
Okay,
Barely
parenting
ever,
tip.
because
I'm
I
going
fall
to give you
asleep
guys
with them.
advice right now. And this is my parenting advice to all three of you.
Great.
This is I hope you take this to the meaningfully. So, when they get their license, you have them in the car alone, and you can talk to them to and from practice, to and from school, to and from whatever. As soon as they get their license, that goes away. So enjoy the moments in the car, especially if you have multiple children, you have them one-on-one. I just was I didn't realize how much quality time I spent with them in the car, and got to talk to all of them or one-on-one with them. So once they get their license, that all changes. So just appreciate that that time with them, because I feel like they talk a lot in the car.
Everyone says that.
Yeah, they talk a lot in the car.
I have my group of girls that I run with, and we have several that are ahead and a few that are behind.
Yeah.
And hearing their advice, and that was one of
It's so
their pieces
true.
of
I
advice.
remember feeling that way.
Yeah.
I was "Oh, I'm not taking you to practice anymore."
But
We always talk so much during that time, or
Yeah.
I'm not driving you to your game, or I'm not driving you to school. And it was I don't know, it just made you feel weird.
And,
They were
just
getting
take advantage
independence,
of those
which
times,
felt weird.
Dinner time, actually,
Yeah.
we bought conversation cards and we passed them on. You have them too, I think. And because take advantage of that time that you have. But I would recommend. I know we have said multiple times, have a village, but also have someone before and behind you.
Yeah.
Someone to ask.
Yeah.
Advice of, and someone to give advice to. Just in general, all through life, you should have that. But I think for parenting
agree.
stuff, it's
I agree.
important. But
Well, we
All right,
didn't
continue. This or
we
that?
didn't totally answer that, so we'll move on. Laundry or dishes?
to do,
Yeah. What would
Am
you
I by
if you
myself?
had to choose, would you pick laundry or dishes?
Dishes.
Dishes?
I'd probably pick dishes.
I love laundry. I know. I'm crazy.
I have a lot for you to do. If
I
you want
love-
to do so.
I love
I have
laundry.
no desire to do
And
laundry
shout
right
out to Buff City Soap.
I do love Buff City.
Let's tag them and let's give them a link. But Buff City Soap Narcissist, I'm obsessed with. And
It's really good.
Yeah, I
It
was
smells
told I
amazing.
need this in my life.
Oh my
and I
gosh.
don't have it.
Oh, I'll bring it
the
to you.
narcissist
Great. I'll
scent
bring it
in
to you
Buff
Thursday.
City Soap is amazing. It
that
will
a
make
dishwasher
you
soap?
No, it's laundry soap.
Oh, laundry soap.
Amazing.
And candles and lotions.
Yes. And so anyway, I love laundry, except I hate putting it away, which is why I made my kids put it away, and then they knew where it was. But I love to wash and fold.
I feel like I'm really bad at this game because I have 8 follow-up questions about it.
I know.
It was
Okay, one or the other.
is it breakfast or is it dinner?
No, it's laundry or dishes. Just pick one.
No,
Any meal. If you had to stay,
I pick
you're doing
breakfast.
the laundry, I'm doing the dishes. You pick. What would you pick?
Dinner, I cook.
I hate dishes.
I don't want to also do dishes.
Yeah.
But Jared does. Jared's
hate
amazing. He
dishes.
does a lot of stuff.
I don't know.
She picks neither.
Okay,
Next.
moving on. So solo Target run or your favorite store. So solo shopping
Yes.
run.
It's always solo.
or a nap.
Ew, solo Target. Solo run.
Solo
I'm
run.
Not a napper.
Okay.
Probably solo run.
Okay.
Naps are.
What's
only
your
if I'm
go-to
so
store?
tired. Ooh. To
Petula?
actually go.
Right.
Well,
I mean,
Petula
you can't pick
Warehouse.
Petula, 'cause
To
that's
actually,
online.
to actually
Like
shop.
brick and mortar store.
Oh. Man.
I mean,
I don't know. Target
Carol.
is fun.
Target?
Target's fun.
Okay.
Because you can find everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a hard one.
I like Target.
I don't feel like it's
Or
not
a Home
hard.
Goods.
I love Home Goods.
TJ Maxx.
Love me a Home Goods.
TJ Maxx.
TJ
is
Maxx.
good.
And you have to go in unassuming.
Yeah.
You're
have
not
to
there
walk
for
in.
anything.
I have no
No.
list. I have no list.
And not on the weekend.
No.
I'm there
Yeah.
Tuesday at 10.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I mean, I'm not really.
But you're
I would
not.
like to be.
Because you're seeing patients.
Costco's also fun.
Ooh, yes, you're right.
It's gotten too
Costco's
crowded.
When
It
is
has
Costco
got, yeah, on the
fun?
weekends, no.
Weekends, no.
The line
Okay.
was past the freezer section the other
Yeah,
day.
it's bad. But they have really good stuff.
They do.
Mom guilt or mom brain?
Mom brain.
Yeah, I'll take Mom Brain.
Mom guilt is next level.
Mom
It
Brain, I
sucks.
just want to be oblivious.
Mom-
Oh, yes, you'll take it.
Can I
Yes,
just say
brain,
mom
I'll take
guilt
that.
never ends? Ever
That's
ends.
what I've heard.
It just
Still?
never ends.
Awesome.
No.
Thanks.
just never ends.
Great news, Carol.
Sorry.
That's why you need good friends to tell
I know,
you you're
I'm sorry.
amazing.
It's just a thing, and you just have to deal with it. Like
No, you have
you're
good
never
friends
going to
that
be
say
good enough.
no.
You're never going to be there enough. You're never going to
Oh my gosh.
be.
Lay down and we'll do some therapy with you right now. You are good enough. You are there enough. And by golly, people like you.
I know. I love you. That's why we're friends. Okay. Phone call with a friend or scrolling in silence.
Ooh.
Oh, that depends. Again, I have follow-up
I know.
questions.
You're way too complicated.
Who's the
Right this moment.
Can I scroll while I
Scrolling in
talk?
silence.
Well,
or-
I've been talking all
true,
day,
true,
so right
true.
now I'm going to scroll. But
Okay, that's fair.
9 times out of 10, I would say call my friend.
I have a phone
Okay.
a friend. I
Call
feel
a
like I
friend.
get more anxiety scrolling.
Okay.
I actually get more. I compare
Yeah,
more.
it's so bad.
when
Which
I'm
is why
scrolling.
social media
It's awful.
is great and
No
it's
offense.
really bad.
No,
Yeah.
trust me. My
Awful.
business is in it, and I half the time I don't want to be in it.
I know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's rough.
And that's
do
hard
you-
with
phoning a
kids.
friend
How
is
do
very
you-
relative.
I know this. We're wrapping it up.
No, you're fine.
But how do you balance that? Not scrolling too much and getting like in the comparison game, but like doing your business online. Because we get a lot of patience from social. So I have to go on there. I have to post, which
Yeah.
I'm Jillian. I'll post. I am way past you. To
I won't
No
post,
preference.
Jillian.
I will. You get
I'm just kidding, I will.
But you do get stuck in it, and then I'm like, I'm never gonna. I can't. I'm not as good as this person. I'm not. And I'm like, so how do you?
That's
balance that? Or
tough.
do you not?
It's so interesting. I compare businesses. Like it's not necessarily me.
No,
it's other competitors,
for sure.
and what they're doing or what they're posting. But also knowing that maybe because I've been in it for so long, I know that there's so much that people are posting that's not the reality of the things. But it is hard. But from a business standpoint, I take it more personally than physically anything like that.
I can blow off the mom crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could blow off the mom crap. I can.
So what's your thing?
I'm like, you don't know.
So what's
it's
your
the
thing?
functional medicine. I see these functional
Yeah.
people, and I'm like, that is BS. I'm like, what are you posting?
Well, I think it's just it's.
But then
it's
I
not
12
necessarily
patients ask
the
me about it.
the content. It's like the actual falsified information that's being thrown
And I'm
out
like,
there.
if you have 10,000 followers or 1 million followers,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is crap.
Yeah.
And people actually listen to this stuff.
yeah, or you look at
one's
somebody
hard.
else's
That's
fabric
hard.
and you're like, that's crap.
That's
Yes.
Let's
But
look
the marketing
at, like,
is strong, and
it's true.
You know,
And I
a
want
lot
to
of
say
marketing.
though,
Yeah.
there is evidence, and we've seen it, that people like to watch train wrecks.
correct.
So they're not watching or following because they actually believe it, but they're just like in awe of how absolutely asinine it is.
That's true.
And
That makes me
appalling
feel better,
it is.
Carrie.
That is like they follow because they're like, what the hell are they pulling out of their ass today?
Or it's like clickbait,
It's entertainment.
or-
It's clickbait.
Yeah.
It's not because
that
they
makes me feel
follow
better.
because they're like, I'm going to listen to these people and I'm
Yeah.
going to do these things. It's like, oh my gosh, this is insane. I need to see what they're doing tomorrow. And it's not actually.
That's
it's
a
not,
very good point.
Thanks.
Yeah, but it's not actually because they're like a legit provider or whatever. It's just more entertainment. It's not like because they're going to. Like, I would never. I'm trying to think of an example, but like, I work in plastic surgery. So I don't want to go
No
to a
beef
plastic
towel on your
surgeon.
face.
Like, I don't want to go to a plastic surgeon that is acting like a dipshit on social media. Like, I don't. Like, it might be entertaining and like maybe I'll like listen and be like, oh, whatever. But I'm like, I don't want somebody to cut my body open that's acting
you want a
ridiculous
professional.
on social media.
Yeah,
like, I
for
don't.
sure.
And so it's like, but I still follow. I follow people that act like dipshits on social media. That are plastic
Yeah.
surgeons.
So
I
you're
do
part of the
because it's
problem.
entertainment.
Well, but this
it's
is why
whatever.
I know, but this is why it's so hard right now with kids
Yeah.
specifically. It's like I tell my kids, and I saw this. Jennifer Gardner said it on the Today Show, and she told her kids, and
So
it was
Bible.
so
I love this.
no, but it was so true. It said, "Show me a study that says this is good for your brain, and I'll let you have it." Like. It and so if it's confusing and it's hard for us as adults,
Yeah.
what is like
I don't want to grow up in this society with social
like
media.
for our
if I grew up in
kids,
social media, I would be
females especially?
Yeah.
I'll
Like-
take my pager in high school. and call it
911.
I have
quarter and my pager right there all through high school.
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
That's very true. It's hard to navigate. It's
Yeah.
hard to like even
And you're
check
gonna have
your
a girl,
emotions.
so
I know
it's a whole different
yeah.
vibe.
Another, yeah.
Because they know if they're not invited to the party.
Yeah.
We didn't know if we weren't invited to the party unless my mom talked to Connie. And
Guys, don't tell Marguerite the party's happening
bikes. If you didn't know the bikes were in the front yard, you didn't know you were invited to the
That's
party.
how we know. Like, I didn't need social media.
Yeah, you didn't drive around and say,
Tell me I
all the
wasn't
bikes
pretty
were in their
enough.
yard. I wasn't invited.
But here's the thing. Even
much
if if your kid doesn't have it, her friend does.
Yeah.
Or her friend does.
That's true. That's true.
That one's tough.
That's
Sorry.
tough. That's
Now I have a tickle.
Well, don't cry. We don't want you to get emotional. So my last, okay, well, I have a few more, but family vacays or girls trips?
Both?
Both.
Both are really important.
I was always a huge family vacay person. I don't think I ever really took a girls trip. Maybe one time, and I think that was when I was divorced.
I mean, my girls' trips are like one night.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like a trip, like
Yeah.
a long. Yeah.
And both are super important.
Yeah. I agree.
I think.
I think girl relationships are hugely important.
I would be the worst wife and mother if I didn't
Yeah.
have girlfriends
I'm
that I
100%.
have. There's no way. My husband would be like, please go on a girls trip.
Wine or coffee?
Both? What
Both.
is it, AM or PM?
Yep.
Right.
Right.
If you had to pick only one, you could choose. What
Till
would it
I
be?
die?
What one do you love the most?
Wine.
Coffee or wine?
Wine.
1,000,000% for me. Yeah. I had no question. I didn't even hesitate.
That's easy.
Did not even
That's
hesitate.
the easiest one. Yeah.
Are you an early morning person or a late night
Late.
person?
Not neither. Neither.
I'm a late night person.
Neither.
I get my energy
early
late.
morning.
Are you late?
Late night.
What are you? You're early. She gets up like
Super
4
early.
and runs for
Good
like
for you.
like 80 miles. Yeah.
That's fucking psycho.
You are psycho. Can we talk about
That's
that a little
psycho.
bit? That
It's
is a little
called
bit
mental
psycho.
health.
Yeah, I don't know about
Okay,
that.
well, I don't
It's
have
either
it.
that or pay a therapist.
So
I'd rather go running.
quickly, because I know we've been here a while, and I don't want your poor boys to be.
They're like
Scott-
circling
Scott's
the
probably-
yard.
I know. I don't even know anything
He's
about
like,
Scott,
when is
like
this
we like need to give
podcast
Scott some
Doing
money after
good.
this. But so like as moms, as women, right? There's more of a pressure, and social media, a huge part of that because it's not real. But we have this pressure to like look young and act young and like be young, especially like when we have kids, right? Because there's whatever. What are your things, guilty pleasures, things that you focus on that like make you feel like young and like maybe not a mom, but like Stacy and Marguerite and Sam, you know, that like are your things that like this makes me feel good and this makes me feel young and this is what I'm doing to like take care of myself. Like what
And
are
these
your go-to
should not
things?
be considered guilty pleasures.
No.
These are like
Necessities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like
1,000,000%.
self-care stuff.
And deserving. Yeah.
So it's not
Yeah.
a guilty pleasure.
No, 1,000,000%. And I didn't word it as that. I'm saying what makes you feel, and I like to separate because I always said, because I am at that point where I'm an empty nester, and I always said I was mom for so long I didn't know how to be Carrie anymore. I didn't even know who Carrie was because my whole entire 20 plus years was this
Carol.
Kate, Maddie, Nick, and they call me Carol, like as a joke. But I was like, I remember going through my divorce, I went to therapy, amen, for therapy. And I remember he said, tell me about yourself. Like, tell me what makes you happy. That's how he worded it. Tell me what makes you happy. I could not articulate it. That didn't revolve around my kids. Mm-hmm. Like me as Carrie, what makes Carrie happy? Not mom happy, not sister Carrie, not daughter Carrie, but like what makes Carrie happy? And I literally looked at him and I was like, and I started to talk and he's like, that's mom, that's daughter, that's sister.
That's great.
Like,
what a great question.
Like what makes you happy? And I was like, I don't remember like what makes me happy. Mm-hmm. So like, what do you guys as moms, as you guys as career women, entrepreneurs, like what do you do like that makes you truly happy? And like you should spend time doing that because you do deserve it.
Oh, I can't go first.
I would just say in general, my girlfriends.
Yeah.
Like just phoning a friend, like
Laughing,
commiserating, but also celebrating. Like I think it's really important to have people that you can call and celebrate maybe small stuff or big stuff, and they are just as happy for you, if not happier.
Yeah.
You know?
Though that's when you have good girlfriends. When they are just as happy for you with your successes as you are.
And so it's being able to call those people or talk to those people. And it's not, it's hard to explain like to my husband, right? Because he always wants to be that person. And I'm like, you are my person, but like
It's different.
It's
feels a
different,
way.
right?
You need, like, that
girls are different.
Yeah, they are.
Girls are different. And so that's a hard dynamic too. But I would say in the end, good, bad, my girlfriends.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm gonna probably say the same. Like it is girlfriends. And Jared's, if he ever watches this, which he won't. He'll be like,
Neither will mine. Cheers.
so there you go. But they just fill a different void than other people. And I mean, Jared roots for me and like, I don't know. It's just different with girlfriends. And so, I mean, that is why I get up in the morning and run. Because it's literally like
That's why I like
10
group
of us just
classes. Because it makes you
running.
accountable and you have people waiting for you.
I don't know. It's different. But yeah, I would say the same thing.
I love that.
That one's hard.
I know.
That one's hard. I don't really have a good group of girlfriends right now. I think it's just been so business. It's been very family.
Yeah.
I didn't really grow up with a lot of girlfriends. I used to hang out with a lot of the guys, actually. So it sounds like
sometimes they were
really
better
nice.
friends.
Especially
at that ages.
Do you know what, though? It's hard when you're on top of a business to have girlfriends. Because some of us get girlfriends at work.
Right.
But like you can't.
Well,
You have to
that's
keep that
tough.
delineation.
You do.
It is hard to
And
be
I've made that
top
mistake.
like you are and have
Right.
girlfriends. Like you need a different
That's-
social circle
Yes.
than your work.
You're right.
Yeah,
Which is
that's
hard
true.
because you probably mostly work. You like,
Correct.
But you will get it when your kids get in sports.
You
Yeah.
will.
You will
Yeah.
find
You'll
your,
find, like,
you'll
a
find your
group.
tribe.
And you'll know.
You'll find
Yeah,
them.
yeah, it'll
Yeah.
just kind of click.
They'll be like the normal moms that you don't have to like,
You don't have to try.
because some of them aren't
You can be
normal.
yourself. Yeah.
Right. Well, and because that's the other thing too. Some of my really good friends I have met through social media, and they live in different states. So one of my best friends is a physical therapist up in Boston, and so the chances that we're gonna be able to hang out
Right.
often
That's
is
true.
very rare. And so so that's a little bit more limiting. But I would just say like whatever. There's a variety of little things just to make me feel good about myself, or like that I'm having a moment to take care of myself. So whether it's a massage or
I was gonna say back
facial,
rubs.
Yeah. Oh, that's the best.
even going to the gym, like
Yeah.
that 45 minutes of going to the gym, getting those endorphins going, or going out to dinner with whoever, whether it's family, it's friends, having a glass of wine and laughing, like whatever it takes to laugh, I think that would make me really happy, and that would be good.
Yeah.
That'd be simple.
I love that. Really quick, I have to ask you because you have, and I'm just curious personally, because you started in the social media revolution. So how do you think you found such success building such a following and like a loyal following?
I do believe that it was by wanting to educate, kind of, and I was providing something useful for women at that stage. Plus, I think I was very real. Like I have a large following on Instagram, but I would never consider me an influencer in what that word means right now.
I agree.
Because
Because you don't like pimp out stuff. You're not like, click my link, and you're not like, look at this, and I'm doing a box opening, or like, you're very
Absolutely.
just like, this is my life.
No, you're true to yourself.
Yeah.
I may have had two collaborations in the 10 years I've done this, and otherwise, if someone wants to send me something and I genuinely love it, I'm gonna like share it, but I'll share it realistically and honestly, and it was just my passion for just doing something that I enjoyed, and women were coming, and I wasn't pushing anything, or so I really, and then the consistency. Right? I've been doing that for 10, 11, 12 years. And
That's a grind.
It is a grind. It's all night. I would
it's
be
a
up till
grind.
2 a.m. doing things. I mean, weekends included work. And even now, even when we're on vacation, if I'm not doing Petula office work, I'm creating content because I want to, and or
like,
it's
look
a
at
part
my
of my life,
outfit, or like, look what
Yeah.
I'm wearing.
or it's a part of my life,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to, I want. This is really cool with this podcast is that this is so people can relate to these conversations, and I feel like that's been something I've been able to portray on social media for my community since day one, because it is me. And I try not to just throw stuff up there just to throw it. Like, I want it to be useful for people. So I think that would be it. Plus, it was right in the beginning, right? So it was before it got really saturated, and people started using it as a in other ways.
Yeah.
I think the people who started when I did, it was just for fun. There was really no larger picture or goal.
People didn't even know what the goal was because it wasn't there yet, right?
But your authenticity shines through, and that is 100% attributive to your success.
Women know if you're being real.
Oh my gosh,
a
for
million
sure.
percent know. Yeah.
You got that
You
radar.
can sniff that out.
We really do.
Yeah.
You really do.
I don't trust you.
Yeah.
Really do.
Yeah.
And I have like literally always said, like, always, you're like the sweetest person. Like, even when I talk to you guys, I'm like, oh my gosh, I talked to Sam. She's ready to go. She's like the sweetest. I'm like, a part of me was like, I wonder if she regrets committing to doing this podcast.
No, I was really so excited about it.
I know, and you were.
'cause usually when
I know
people
you're so busy, and I was like, oh, but no, she actually seems really excited, so we're good tomorrow.
Usually when people talk like that, expectations are really high,
Yeah.
and like usually they're not met. But
Yeah.
I have to say, you're lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Expectations well met.
I
Thank you for the.
I know.
Okay, so can I just tell you guys, I had a really big freak out moment, and this is actually good. So, Saturday, I was a last minute addition. I know that's super hard to believe for all the followers.
We're happy you're here.
Marguerite texted me on Friday night and said, huge favor. And I'm like, oh boy. She's like, do you have this in your bag? And I was like, sure. And then she said, will you be on the podcast on Tuesday? And I said, sure. And then it was just kind of funny because we went in between all of my kids' crazy sporting events. We organized a Mother's Day lunch where we had literally 45 minutes for all of us to be together with my kids, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, his wife, my parents. And so that's when your text came through and you were like, Sam's gonna put us up in like some athletic wear, like in Petula. And I was like, I looked at my sister, I'm drinking like a 9-ounce glass of wine. I was like, I'm a size 4 million. Like what? And then I'm like, what are we gonna wear? And then my whole family, like we had fun.
It was
with
a funny text.
She's
like, I need a shawl. I need full coverage.
Thank you so much. I was like,
makes me feel
no
better.
crop tops.
She said lots
I
of
was like, I'm not wearing a bra
Full
and leggings.
coverage. I'm not wearing a bra and leggings. Like,
Yeah. God, I got you covered. I got you
Literally covered.
Yes.
but I love that you have options.
So, yes. Well, and again, like I said, it's one thing to have. For me, it's just all the whole experience. It's not just marketing. Marketing is one thing, but then getting it into someone's hands and then them loving it and then sharing it, like Carrie does, sharing it with close friends and family, just because she loves it. You know, that speaks so much more than getting an influencer to put it on or to try it on, you know.
For sure.
Literally.
And then also to just see like these creations, you guys look incredible in them. You know,
And that's and that's why we partnered with you before, because I feel like our brands are very aligned. Because Donaldson follows that same example. He has never been about influencers. He's like, I'm not going to pay somebody to come and do anything with me.
Yeah.
He's like, I want somebody to come to me, love it, and talk about it.
Yes.
On their
Genuinely
own.
talk about
on their
it.
own. I'm
Yeah.
not going to entice them or incentivize them to talk positively about me.
Yeah.
He's like, I want them to genuinely come in on their own, enjoy what they're experiencing, pay for it like everybody else does, and then talk about it. And I think that's way more meaningful, because you have like influencers that come in and you give it to them for free. As soon as you stop giving it to them, they don't talk about it anymore. They don't care. They move on to the next person that's going to give it to them for free.
Right.
And so I think that is such a valuable statement, because it's so true. Because in this this world that we live in, that's the reality.
Right.
And I've always appreciated that about him. And he's always kind of followed that motto and wants people to talk about him genuinely.
Absolutely.
And I think that's
if
cool.
you believe in your product,
Yeah,
and then
1,000,000%.
You also
you don't
want
have
those
to
people
sell
around.
yourself out. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's been an interesting
Yeah,
way of navigating
for
social
sure.
and knowing those
It's a
people.
slim slope because that's the way the world is, and so
Right.
you have to balance it a little without selling your soul.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I think we're finished. I think your poor boys are probably ready for bed.
I don't know. I have no idea where they're. Oh no, they still have a few hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if your boys are, but I am.
Well,
thank you guys for coming to the house
having
so
us.
much.
It's great.
Yes.
So cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming over. Can't wait.
Love it.